Welcome back to Universal Insight. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates, especially about Bataan. Most people don't realize just how deep and enduring the ties between Israel and the Philippines really are. Imagine a tense standoff in the South China Sea. What if Israel quietly took sides? It sounds like a political thriller, but this is a real possibility. The relationship between Israel and the Philippines is rooted in history. In 1947, the Philippines was the only Asian nation to vote in favor of the United Nations resolution that led to the creation of the State of Israel. This act of solidarity forged a unique bond between the two countries. Over the decades, this connection has grown through key diplomatic moments, like the opening of embassies in both countries in the 1960s and the Philippines' role in providing refuge to Jewish people fleeing the Holocaust. In recent years, the partnership has only deepened. High-level visits, defense agreements, and technology exchanges have become more frequent. In 2018, President Duterte became the first sitting Philippine president to visit Israel, signing deals on labor, defense, and agriculture. Israel and the Philippines share a deeper, more strategic relationship than most realize, with huge implications for Asia's balance of power. While the world focuses on the US, China, and Russia, Israel has been quietly building bridges with the Philippines, not just for friendship, but for survival and influence. Why would Israel, with its own security challenges, care about a Southeast Asian dispute? The answer: military strategy, economic necessity, and a shared history. Today, we'll break down 5 key reasons why Israel could be the Philippines' most unexpected and powerful ally against China. This story goes far beyond headlines. Let's dive in. The first piece of the puzzle is Israel's close alliance with the United States, a relationship built on decades of military cooperation and shared strategic interests. Israel and the U.S. are strategic partners, bound by military aid agreements like the $38 billion Memorandum of Understanding, and joint operations such as missile defense tests and intelligence sharing that shape global policy. The Philippines, too, is a U.S. treaty ally, protected under the Mutual Defense Treaty, and further strengthened by agreements like the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, which allows U.S. forces access to Philippine bases. As tensions rise in the South China Sea, the U.S. has reaffirmed its commitment to defend the Philippines, conducting joint patrols and large-scale exercises like Balikatan to demonstrate resolve. This puts both Israel and the Philippines in the same American security orbit, where joint operations and shared intelligence are the norm. If the U.S. takes a harder stance against China, it will expect its allies to stand together, coordinating through joint exercises, intelligence sharing, and strategic planning. For Israel, supporting the Philippines is a way to prove its value to Washington, not just in the Middle East but globally, by participating in joint operations and aligning with U.S. strategic goals. It's not about picking a fight with China, but about reinforcing a rules-based order that benefits Israel's own security and keeps American support strong. By quietly backing the Philippines, Israel strengthens its bond with the U.S., participates in joint deterrence efforts, and helps counter authoritarian expansion. This support isn't isolated, it's part of a broader Western strategy, coordinated through alliances and joint military operations. As the U.S. pivots to the Indo-Pacific, Israel has every reason to pivot with it, joining multinational exercises and expanding its influence in the region. It's a classic case of, I'll back you up here so you'll back me up there, with joint operations and mutual defense at the core. That's the real power of alliances, shared commitments, joint action, and American influence binding it all together. The second reason is business, specifically, the defense business. Israel is a top global arms exporter, known for cutting-edge, battle-tested technology. The Philippines, facing threats from China, is rapidly modernizing its military and needs advanced weapons. Israeli companies have become key suppliers, providing drones, missiles, and naval systems. In recent years, the Philippines has signed major deals with Israel, including the purchase of Elbit Systems' Hermes 900 drones, which have boosted the country's surveillance and reconnaissance capabilities. The Philippine Army and Navy have also acquired Israeli-made Spike-ER and Spike-NLOS anti-tank missile systems, giving them a significant edge in both land and maritime defense. These deals, often worth hundreds of millions of dollars, have fundamentally upgraded the Philippines' capabilities and deepened defense ties between the two countries. For Israel, every sale is a strategic foothold in Southeast Asia, building long-term influence and opening doors for future cooperation. By arming the Philippines, Israel helps deter Chinese aggression and supports a stable, rules-based order in the region. The Philippines gets world-class tech, like advanced radar, command and control systems, and precision-guided munitions, while Israel expands its reach and strengthens its global security role. It's a win-win, good business with profound strategic impact. Supporting Manila is smart politics and even smarter strategy, cementing Israel's role as a key defense partner in the Asia-Pacific. The third reason is freedom of navigation, a lifeline for Israel's economy and for the world at large. Israel relies on maritime trade, and any disruption to global shipping threatens its prosperity. In recent years, incidents like the Ever Given blocking the Suez Canal and attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea have shown just how vulnerable these routes are. The South China Sea is a vital artery for global commerce, including Israeli trade. Over a third of global shipping passes through these waters, making them one of the most strategic maritime corridors on the planet. If China controls this choke point, it could disrupt trade at will, a nightmare for Israel's planners. Recent confrontations between Chinese vessels and ships from other nations have already raised alarms internationally. In response, the US, Australia, and other allies have increased freedom of navigation operations to assert the right of passage. Supporting the Philippines means defending the principle of open seas, which protects Israel's own access to global markets. If China rewrites the rules here, others, like Iran, could try the same elsewhere, threatening key routes like those through the Persian Gulf. By backing Manila, Israel invests in a stable, predictable maritime order that benefits all trading nations. International cooperation is crucial to keeping these sea lanes open. The stakes are global, and Israel knows it. Every nation that depends on trade has a stake in keeping these sea routes secure. Israel's support for the Philippines isn't about grand gestures or loud declarations. Instead, it's a masterclass in subtle diplomacy, where every nod, handshake, and carefully crafted statement carries weight. With China as a major trading partner, Israel avoids open confrontation. Instead, officials issue public statements emphasizing peace, cooperation, and the importance of international law, subtle signals of support for Manila's position. Behind the scenes, Israel excels at quiet strategic moves, technology transfers, co-production deals, and confidential negotiations that strengthen the Philippines' capabilities without drawing headlines. Intelligence sharing is a key gesture. Israel discreetly provides Manila with crucial maritime insights, helping monitor the South China Sea while keeping the cooperation out of the spotlight. Joint training and low-profile military cooperation build real capability and trust. Publicly, both sides highlight friendship and shared security interests, while the real work happens quietly. These gestures, both public and private, allow Israel to help the Philippines while avoiding a direct clash with China. It's a diplomatic balancing act, supporting an ally, upholding principles, and protecting economic interests, all through carefully chosen words and actions. Israel's quiet actions and nuanced public statements send a clear message to Beijing, without risking open confrontation. That's statecraft at its finest, where every subtle gesture, both seen and unseen, shapes the balance of power. The final reason is about identity and reputation. Israel sees itself as a small nation standing up to bigger bullies, a story that resonates with the Philippines' struggle. Supporting Manila reinforces Israel's image as a defender of sovereignty and small nations' rights. This isn't just moral posturing, it builds diplomatic capital across Asia and beyond. Israel's stance offers smaller countries an alternative to Chinese or Russian influence. There's also a historical bond. During Beijing, the Philippines saved over 1,300 Jewish refugees, a gesture Israel has never forgotten. This shared history adds emotional depth to the partnership. In recent years, Israel has sent medical teams and humanitarian aid to the Philippines after devastating typhoons, standing shoulder to shoulder in times of crisis. Israeli experts have also shared agricultural technology, helping Filipino farmers boost their harvests and improve food security. For Israel, backing the Philippines is both a principled stand and a smart way to enhance its global stature. Across the world, Israel has partnered with smaller nations on water, health, and education, proving that solidarity can change lives. It's about standing with those who fight for freedom. That's how Israel strengthens its reputation as a resilient, principled nation. So, why might Israel back the Philippines? Strategic alignment with the US, defense industry opportunity, protecting free navigation, subtle diplomacy, and a principled identity. Israel's support may not make headlines, but it will be felt through quiet tech transfers, intelligence sharing, and discreet cooperation. The aim is to raise the cost of aggression and reinforce a world where international rules and order matter. As tensions in the South China Sea continue to rise, the Israel-Philippines partnership stands as a masterclass in modern, quiet statecraft. Israel's moves will remain subtle, but the message to China, and the world, will be unmistakable. Alliances are shifting, and the cost of unchecked ambition is rising. Looking ahead, the evolving ties between Israel and the Philippines could reshape the regional balance, offering both nations new leverage and signaling to China that the game is far from over. What do you think the future holds for this strategic triangle? Share your thoughts below, and thanks for watching. Throughout its history, Israel's military alliances have been forged in the crucible of necessity. In the early years, outnumbered and isolated, Israel sought partners wherever it could. France in the 1950s, the United States from the late 1960s onward. Each alliance taught vital lessons: the importance of technological edge, the value of reliable intelligence, and the power of quiet, behind-the-scenes cooperation. These hard-earned insights now shape Israel's approach to the Philippines and the South China Sea. Israel knows that open confrontation is rarely sustainable. Instead, it favors building relationships through joint training, arms deals, and intelligence sharing, methods that have proven effective in past partnerships with countries like India, Azerbaijan, and even some in Africa. As tensions rise in Asia, Israel's historical playbook guides its actions: strengthen allies quietly, avoid direct entanglement, and always keep an eye on the broader strategic balance. For Israel, supporting the Philippines isn't just about today's headlines, it's about ensuring stability, shaping a favorable regional order, and applying the lessons of past alliances to the challenges of tomorrow. As the tides of geopolitics shift, what might the future hold if Israel deepens its support for the Philippines in the face of Chinese assertiveness? In one scenario, a robust partnership could transform the Philippines into a formidable regional player. Advance Israeli defense systems, radars, drones, cyber tools might tip the balance in Manila's favor, deterring aggression and emboldening Southeast Asian neighbors to stand firmer for their own sovereignty. But every move has its ripple effect. China could answer with sharper economic pressure or military posturing, not just against the Philippines, but also towards Israel's interests in Asia and beyond. The United States and its allies might see Israel as a more integral partner in the Indo-Pacific, inviting deeper cooperation, but also drawing Israel further into great power rivalry. For Israel, the stakes are high. Its reputation as a discreet but decisive ally could be cemented, opening doors across Asia. Yet the risk of backlash, from diplomatic isolation to cyber retaliation, would grow. The region itself might witness a new arms race, or conversely, a recalibration of power that leads to renewed dialogue and fragile peace. Ultimately, Israel's choices will echo far beyond the South China Sea. The coming years may reveal whether careful support can foster stability, or if the waves of confrontation will surge higher. In this unfolding chapter, the currents of history and the winds of strategy converge, leaving the world to watch and wait for what comes next.